Hi guys, this is Ramanan. I'm a doctor who is currently pursuing my post graduation in psychiatry, and let's get into the topic. So, let's start with the definition of being unassertive. Basically, not standing up for yourself, even though you know you have to, is the definition, a general definition of what unassertiveness is. Assertiveness, very important here, does not get you what you want all the time. It only is a skill that you can use for registering what you want at a given argument for the other person to know it. It doesn't always mean it is associated with a positive outcome. I'd like to register that here. Factors that determine assertiveness. First is self defeating belief. I'm not good enough. I can't tell not nice things. I have to always accept with people, otherwise, I won't be loved. All these self defeating beliefs that we have been fed culturally, socially, whatever the root cause may be, are some things that are recurrently happening within us without even our understanding. We need to be aware of this at a very fundamental level. Skill deficit, that's the second point that we factor that is involved. Verbal skills, non-verbal skills are important to communicate what you are trying to tell over here, whether you're being assertive or not. Anxiety and stress will add more uh, ambiguity and brain fog as such when an argument is happening. A fourth very important factor that we need to talk is situation analysis. How do you know that this argument is going to have a very big magnitude impact or small magnitude impact on your life? If you're not able to assess this, you don't know how to react. Situation evaluation is a key factor that you should have honed by now. If you have not, fear not, you can definitely develop this on a day to day practice mode. Other, the fifth factor that we need to see here is cultural and social contexts. Uh, the West promotes assertiveness to a great extent compared to the Eastern countries of the world. Uh, so this is something that is really important because the context in which we are seeing is the ultimate for assertiveness. It is whether you feel you are being unassertive or not. That is the most important scenario. Rather than someone else telling you you are being unassertive, this is not how you are going to be. Now let's move on to the types of assertiveness. Personally, I see assertiveness in two levels. One is personal assertiveness, where you start practicing it with yourself, and the second one is interpersonal assertiveness, where you start practicing assertiveness with other people around. Let's talk about the cycle of unassertiveness. This is a vicious cycle which usually starts by being unassertive in the first argument. When you do this repeatedly, the other person takes this as your set baseline. So the next time they expect you to behave like this, even though you don't want to behave the same way. You have been nice in the first encounter, now you want to probably establish your rights, but you can't break out of that pattern. So this pattern keeps continuing and you keep remaining in a continuous state of discomfort till you reach a threshold. Once you reach the threshold, you are going to explode on the person, and after a few days, surprisingly, you are going to go back to them in an extra nice manner and try to re-establish the same relationship they had before. Why? Because you are used to being an unassertive person, and that is what you are comfortable with. This vicious cycle goes on, and the only person getting affected here is you. So, how do you overcome being unassertive? One of the first things that you can do is be aware of it happening to you. Again, this is a very cultural and socially variable thing. So, please take it with respect to your culture and the society in which you're brought up in. First, awareness. You need to realize that it's happening at the moment for you to take any action. Step one. Step two. You're going to practice it every day and you're going to make sure that it becomes a habit. Second, third, you need someone to help you out to tell and be your mirror. You can't have a feedback loop by yourself. So now let's start with the first one. How are you going to be aware of this behavior at the moment of the crisis? There's no point regretting about not being unassertive after the event is over, right? So how can you assess it at the moment? Usually you need a 10-second break to give you a bird's eye view of what all is happening around the argument, what you need to do, what is the magnitude of the argument. To gauge this, you probably need around 10 seconds. So this is the exact time needed to drink a glass of water. Try this next time, and you might be able to get a little more perspective, which might be just the thing to make you a little more assertive. Number two, practice ground for assertiveness. You don't learn to tell no to yourself first. It's only after that you start telling no to other people. If you come after work after a very long day and you want to eat an ice cream, you will most likely go and eat that ice cream, even though you don't want to jeopardize your health. Now, how will you know the other person will be okay with the no that you're about to tell when you have not tried it on yourself and experimented it? Personal assertiveness is very similar to self discipline. The pyramid of assertiveness is personal assertiveness followed by public assertiveness. If you can't be assertive to yourself, say for example, brush your teeth every single day before you go to bed, or do 10 flashcards every day before you go to bed, no matter how sleepy you are, that is the scenario as I'm talking. Once you become consistent with personal assertiveness on a daily basis, your public assertiveness will start growing naturally. You don't have to do it against your will, it won't feel unnatural, and you will understand what a no means because you have experienced it yourself. You can't be your own mirror, basically. You need a reliable friend who is going to observe you as a third person in a conversation and tell you that whether you're assertive or aggressive. In an attempt to sometimes prove yourself to be an assertive individual, you may cross the boundary and go into the aggressive mode. So, a friend who knows the difference between these two and who is a neutral third person can really help you out over here. If you're really interested in a workbook for assertiveness, I highly recommend a 10 module assertiveness workbook for which the link has been given below. You can probably access it in their website and it's completely free of cost. And do let me know how things are panned out. Thank you.